Boxing Truth here, back with another video. Alright, let's talk about it. Let's talk about Gervonta Davis' most recent knockout victory.
Champions with the heart!
I mean, it was a entertaining fight between these two. They went at it. They gave us something memorable. And it was a lights out performance by Gervonta Davis, securing a knockout victory, knocking out Santa Cruz out cold. A little sad to see Santa Cruz get iced like that. You know, he's from my generation, and my generation just took another L. As the younger generation is, you know, they're rolling through, man. They're coming through, and they're taking the challenge, and they're rising to the occasion. And they're starting to make themselves, you know, their presence are certainly being felt. Teofimo Lopez took away Lomachenko's throne, and Gervonta Davis just handed Santa Cruz his first legitimate defeat of his career, if you really want to count that bullshit Frampton loss. But it was a good fight. You know, Santa Cruz really put it on Gervonta, you know, the first few rounds of the fight. Had Gervonta looking a little shook in there, a little worried. Floyd Mayweather was quaking in his boots. Definitely was not liking what he was seeing in the beginning of that fight. But Gervonta made adjustments. Credit to him. He pulled through. He started to notice that Leo just doesn't move his head at 3 punches. Timed him with a left uppercut. Dipping the right hand, just landed a beautiful uppercut that ended the night. You know, credit to Davis making 130, made the fight more interesting. It was physicality, you know, it was a little too much. Gervonta is very, you know, strong, 30, 35 pounder, very big puncher, and Santa Cruz is a bantamweight coming up, really a featherweight. So what's next? I already know what's next, but there's a chance that this fight probably ain't gonna happen. But it's most likely what's going to occur, and I ain't mad at it. But you know, Gervonta should be fighting guys his own size, you know, not, you know, featherweights, blown up featherweights trying to fight at 35. Gervonta is going to duck Teofimo Lopez. Tank is going to duck Teofimo Lopez to fight another blown up featherweight. A guy even smaller, at least lengthwise, height-wise, than Leo Santa Cruz. Hey, I'm not knocking the fight, you know. You know, it's a good fight for Gervonta, very winnable fight. Fighting a smaller guy who's talking a lot of shit, doing a lot of clout, but not really putting in the results or fighting the elite opponents in Gary Russell Jr. But it will be an event. People would watch. People would tune in. It will be a pay-per-view fight. But that's not the fight Tank should be taking. He should be fighting blown up featherweights who are a little past their best. You should be fighting Teofimo Lopez, but Floyd don't have enough confidence in you. He hasn't really shown it in developing your career. This far into your career, almost 26 years old, and you're fighting Leo Santa Cruz, not fighting Lomachenko. Ducked Lomachenko. Floyd knew he wasn't ready for that fight. Didn't want you to put you in there with the shocks. And you ain't gonna go in there with Teofimo Lopez. That's the guy you should be gunning for. That's the guy you should be calling out. But you didn't even call him out, bro, in your post-fight interview. Didn't even have the stones to say his name. Because Mayweather just doesn't have enough confidence in you right yet. Wouldn't put you in with Lomachenko. You really think he's gonna put you in with the guy that beat him? Most definitely not. You know, they're gonna milk this. They got a little, Mayweather's got something going here. He's got a star. He's got a popular fighter. And he's exciting, man. He's knocking guys out. Highlight reel knockouts. He's putting bums in the seats. And he delivered a good performance in his pay-per-view debut. You know, it was a predictable outcome in terms of who was going to win, but at least it was something memorable. It was a great knockout, great fight, entertaining fight, and the fans got their money's worth. But we want to see if you're real though, Gervonta. Overpowering, blown up featherweights doesn't prove that you're the real deal. Can you do that to a Teofimo Lopez? Can you even do that to a Lomachenko coming off a loss? Can you do that to Devin Haney? We're gonna have to wait and see. And we're gonna have to wait and see if Mayweather even has enough confidence to put you in there with a Garrett Russell. I believe you win that fight. But with the way Mayweather was jumping, quaking in his boots when Santa Cruz was putting it on you in those first few rounds, maybe the confidence is just not there for Mayweather to pull the trigger for you to take that Garrett Russell Jr. fight. It makes sense business-wise, but those are not the fights that are going to define your legacy. Beating up blown-up featherweights are not going to define if you really are the real deal. You got to go after the tanks. You got to go after the Teofimos, the Lomachenkos, the Ryan Garcias, the Devin Haneys, the true lightweights in the division. Maybe Ryan Garcia is next if he wins and beats Luke Campbell. It all depends on how Ryan Garcia looks in that fight. On whether a great performance from Ryan will scare Mayweather away. But after, some shaky moments against Santa Cruz, that might have scared away Mayweather of considering a tank Garrett Russell Jr. fight. But that looked like, to me, that's the fight that's most likely next. In-house fight. Garrett Russell needs a big fight. So Al Heyman's going to feed him Tank to a young lion. And another fighter from my generation on the verge of an L. Damn, man, I'm feeling old. Only 32. And we taking L's to the younger generation. This is Boxing Truth. I'm out.